Hi, welcome to Information Investigation for Public Speaking, Professor Foster's students. My name is Terry Gallagher. I'm the librarian at CCBC. I want to welcome you. First of all, I want to let you know for your research for this class and all your classes, you can come to the library. You can visit us. We're open Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 8 o'clock to 4:30. We're open Wednesdays from 8 o'clock till 7 and Fridays 8 till 4. That said, on those virtual days, we have a chat, as you can see down here in the corner. We have a chat that runs on the library pages, which I'm going to show you. So you can talk to us if we're offline. The chats go to our emails so we can get back to you. You can call, email me, terry.gallagher@ccbc.edu, or the library at ccbc.edu. We want to help you no matter what you're trying as far as research or what class you're in. Keep in mind that the academic coaches are also located here in the library. This is where I sit over here, so stop and visit. And the academic coaches are this way. You can also still take out a research room, the rooms that run along the back of the library if you need some quiet study space away from home. And we do have the computers. We're practicing all the safe CDC guidelines currently. So you stop at the desk with your card and we assign computers. And we have our extensive 36,000 item collection. We do have limited hotspots, various phone chargers. So again, if you're on campus, stop in and see us. And if you're virtual, we'll be here for you too. So your assignment in this class is that you're going to do an evaluation speech where you're going to take a topic, analyze it more closely, break it down. You can use internet sources, book sources, database sources, anything you want that you feel is credible for that particular speech for Professor Foster's class. Your second speech is the one that holds a lot of weight in this class. It's your persuasive speech, and you need 5 sources. 2 can be websites, so that's kind of the breakdown there, and also that's going to be the same with your 2 can be websites with your I'm going to add that in with your group presentation. So why are you here in the library? We're going to help you get credible sources for your speeches. So even though this is a class where you're practicing your oral presentation, you still need to have the good, credible facts, sources, data to back you up. And then you can find that at the library. And you can find that at the library 24 hours a day. I know a lot of you have work and other things that you're doing. So as you're preparing, know that we're here for you. So today we're just going to look at some various various areas you can get resources from, books, websites. I'm going to give you a couple tips if you are using those couple websites or using that in your first presentation. And then we're going to talk about databases, and we're going to get that really highly credible gold standard information, and we'll talk about where you can get support for citing, because again, even though this is a speech presentation, you have to show where you got the information utilizing citations. Okay, so things have changed a little bit in the library. We've gotten a whole new system, both inward facing and outward facing. So our card catalog's a little different than if you were a past student and utilized it for searching for books. The way you can get to the card catalog is, and I'm going to show you just how to get to the library. So you're going to go to ccbc.edu. And you go under Campus Life, scroll down, select Library, And here you are. Welcome. And that's what I hear when people chat with me. I'm not herding cows while I'm doing this library instruction. So anyhow, that was the chat alert. So that'll happen when you have questions. So feel free to ask us for help or ask us about your resources anytime. And again, when this is offline, this goes to the library staff emails. So we got your back. Okay, so you're in the library, and we talked about books. So I'm going to show you where you find the card catalog for the 35,000 plus books we have right here. We are circulating books, so I need to change that right there. We had just started last week. So you click on that link, and that takes you to the Beaver Library System. We share all of our items with the Beaver County Library System. So if you have a library card there, it works at CCBC, vice versa. In addition, the Beaver County Law Library is also part of the system. So if you have a subject related to criminal justice, you're very in with that. So let's say you're doing a search. This is different. It doesn't have the flexibility that the past advanced search had. So I can just show you a couple things. Let's say if you were doing a search on yoga, you could just start here, and you can just go straight to beaverlibraries.org too and use this. And it will come up with, you see we have 172 results about yoga, which is way too many. So doing your searches is all about narrowing and widening and finding what you need for your speech. You can also do a subject search, because in this, looking just for the word yoga, you're going to get one of the books we have in the system that dinosaurs do yoga. And so you don't need that for your speech. So what you can do is just switch that to subject and search. And you can narrow from that. Or if there's a particular kind of yoga, narrow that way. So yeah, as you can see, subject searches, you have 143 books that are particular to yoga as subject, which means the Dewey, the Library of Congress, that's a subject term that librarians use to catalog any kind of books about yoga. So you're safe in using that subject search. So you want to do that, especially if you're doing things with authors. You want to do subject and keyword searches. You can also do titles. This shows you if it's new in the system. You're probably not going to use that much for right now because you're not looking for the best sellers. You can look at collections. We do have some of your textbooks if you want to go in here and look for these reserves. Those are textbooks. You can also look at what is available. You're going to be on campus, so see what yoga books are open. You can limit that way. And see what is at CCBC. So you've lowered your results there down to 15. You can also put them in order by date published, because for some of your subjects, you're going to have, if you're nursing, your health, IT, 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a lot of variation. If it's something that is, a historical element, you have more leeway. Biology allows 10 years. So you want to be keep that in your mind when you're doing searches. So I did a date published, so that ordered these. When you go into the actual record, which a lot of people don't do that, but that does give you information toward if you're doing from scratch your MLA or APA citation, that gives you the information on this detail page. And you can go down and check and see this was published in 2018. So this might be something that I want to use. It's current, something, but also you can do searches by adding search terms. Now, this is where this is different, because in the old days, I would have a drop down box, and you could actually use the drop down box to add all your words and or as your limiters here. So I'm looking for yoga and beginners for the speech I want to do about starting yoga. So if I add that word and do the search, we'll see how that turns out too. So this is the process of, and then we're coming up with this DVD at CCBC that is yoga for beginners. So those are a couple ways to make your search more efficient than starting with those 174 and getting the dinosaur book in your results. So keep that in mind. So, and we just visited the library. So we're going to go back to the PowerPoint again. And we just talked about books. So I'm going to show you another place in the library that I'd like you to keep in mind. If you go to, and I'm going to take you there several times, and I know those of you who've had me do instructions for comp know that I do this, but it helps keep things in your mind. So where do we go? We go to ccbc.edu to get to the college. You can also do / library there too. Get down to the library under campus life. There's the chat cow. Sorry, I didn't turn that off. And you can go to course specific resources. And here these are launch pads or springboards of information to start you off when you're working on a speech or a paper, gathering that information. And we do this by gathering information from past professors and librarians and getting that really credible information listed under various disciplines. There's also, besides the discipline, there's a citation section here. So we have MLA quick guides. If you're doing APA, we have a handout that we've made in the college library. We've made these for you to help you when you do citations, recommending the Purdue OWL, having links to formatting your papers. So that's there. In addition, there's some information under composition that you might want to use for doing searches and narrowing your topics if you're thinking of or you're needing some help with your public speaking class. And then there's also a nice, I'm sorry if I'm taking you on a roller coaster ride, but there's a lot of disciplines. These are called LibGuides in a lot of universities. But we're going in alphabetical order, and we're down here to public speaking. And here's some recommendations that we have for you. And of course, with your speeches, you're always looking for data. So we have some links for you to find data, so you don't have to go out and decide on the web, is this credible, isn't it? We can get you a good start here, and some recommendations on how to do like the top presentations and speeches. Okay, so course specific resources and books are right there waiting for you. We can get you a library card if you need one. Okay, so most of you, when I talk to everybody in classes from developmental to higher level classes, they tell me that they're going to look on websites first. So I understand that. That's easy, but you have to be so careful with the information now. So I'm not going to go into depth because most of you have probably had some sort of library instruction in the past, but these are just some quick and fast guidelines. Use the .govs and the .edus because that information is vetted and that has credibility, and there's a lot of supporting data. If you're doing something with the coronavirus, you go to the cdc.gov and you get the numbers, the information there. also going to universities, the EDUs, where they're studying, John Hopkins University, where they're studying the coronavirus, and those are the things you want to keep in mind. Sure, there's a lot of information out there at .coms, but their purpose is to make money. So if they're there to sell you something, is that the information you want to use in your speech, you want to get that higher credibility. And I know many of you know this. Also, check out that currency, just like we talked about for certain disciplines like nursing. If you look at a website, see when it was last updated. You don't want to use old information. You want to use the top information so you get an A. So make sure that information is still valid too. If you're doing something about the coronavirus and you pull an article from last year, last spring, there's been progress. Go for something more recent. Just it's really common sense thing, I know, but the other thing, look, it's hard to find sometimes. A lot of times you have to go in the contact us or the perimeters of the pages. Look who is producing the information. So those are just some quick tips. And I know many of you have heard that from your past teachers and professors, but and I have other videos that are on the course specific sites to get you get you really wired for checking out whether you accept information that's out on the web. And again, with your second two speeches, you're going to need other formats of information, so you won't be just using websites. So now I'm going to take you to the wonderful place where you can get information that is automatically credible and presented by the college 24 hours a day. So these are at the research databases. And hopefully some of you have used these in the past, but I'm going to give you a little bit of review. So we're going to go back to the library. And here we are at course specific, but I'm taking you the whole way in again. Okay. Down to the library. Okay. And we are going to choose research tools again because we're going not to the catalog where we were before for books. We're going to go to databases. And these are pools of information. We buy these databases from companies and they're collected for scholars. It's advanced, credible information that is here to support student projects like your speeches and your papers. So what you do is you search these, and I have some quick video tutorials that aren't really specific to your, in a handout, specific to your speech projects like this video is. But I always liken this to shopping. You're shopping for information. You have a topic and now you're going to shop it. So you can't go wrong with EBSCO. That's a whole collection of information that we have. There are ebooks in there that are more current than some of the books in our libraries. There is a whole selection, and we're going to go back there and do a search in a little bit. But I want to go down through and explain to you that some of these, again, are just like shops where you'll look for information. Right now, if you use Credo, make sure you print or get all your information here because this is something that we're trialing right now. And you can, let me stop that. So we'll have this information from Credo, which is a federated search, which is going to search several databases. And if we were doing that subject like we did before, yoga, and you'll see it can prompt you with a lot of different yogas. This is a reference database. Whoops. So if we did, a specific yoga, it's also going to show us actually films that we have that you can link to. from Infobase and Today's Science about yoga. It's going to tell you information that's in a literature center, and even information that's in our EBSCO searches. So this is a more unified search. We don't usually have this at CCBC. You go into individual databases. So this will be through mid-March. So if you're doing your information now, stop by Credo, and you'll be able to actually supplement what you usually have. So we're going to actually go back to the research tools, and then I'm going to show you the listing again. So here we are at the library, and then we're at the research tools, and here we are. Again, there's the Credo reference trial. There's the Beaver County Times. You can get local information to support your stats. Maybe they've done investigative articles on opiate overdose that you can get through the Times. If you have a business subject, something on entrepreneurship you're looking up, you can use Nexus Uni, has a lot of Fortune 500s, Supreme Court information. If you would be doing a piece of literature, this is a super source for that. You know, if you're doing a discussion of a piece of literature for your presentation, connect to that. This is for if you're doing something on post to high school education, colleges, university information. This one right here, I want to point out, we're going to actually go in here. I'm going to talk a minute about that a little more in depth. We also have ProQuest. The New York Times and Wall Street Journal can have some great information to buoy up what you are writing about. So you can get sources from all these shops. You just have to tailor your topic to where you're shopping. And that's why we have these little descriptions under each database. This here, facts, issues, and controversies. Now, when you go into our databases, we could go directly into Credo because that's a trial right now. You're going to use your email and your password as you would from home. You use the whole email. If you're on campus, you can just put your first name dot last name. And then you can log in. And this is why I wanted you to look at this particular database. It has a lot of subjects to browse down here. Like there are more, you can open up each category under larger topics, but there's some great topic ideas there too. But I really wanted to show you the formatting of how these are presented, and they could really help you with your persuasive speech. Now, if you look at these, they're all hot button issues, and you can go the whole way across. They change, and then they'll go into the issues by subject session. But for example, mandatory vaccination. Now, if we look at that, you will see, if you were doing a persuasive speech, that you will see a thesis statement that, or an argument that is pro or con. But then what you have after that is Infobase gathers evidence, credible evidence. That's why rather you come straight to these databases. You're seeing they're citing the CDC, and they have a lot of graphs and charts and data, which you need for your speeches, and it's current, 2020 there. And you can go down through this, and you're going to see a presentation of those arguments that goes both ways. So once you read this, it's going to be a pretty well balanced article. And so if you are doing a persuasive speech, I'm taking you on that roller coaster ride again down through these because they're pretty extensive, but the information is just great. And the reason I'm taking you down is I want you to see at the very end, the beautiful thing about Infobase is they have articles that link out. So you can also find other credible sources that will support what you're doing. So keep this in mind. You want to definitely look at facts on file when you're doing your persuasive speech. If you have a topic that, especially if it's a hot topic. So, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back, and we're going to go back to EBSCO, because this is where we do not have the federated search. We're going into EBSCO. Okay. Oh, I'll try to, I hope that's the last time for you. Okay. And back to research tools. So this is where you go again for the books, the databases, and I took you down through to show you, where you do your varied shopping. And remember that we have ebooks and audiobooks. So if we come back up to the top, this is the place I would want you to do if you're going to do further research. You can use this for virtually all of your classes. It's a suite of databases. I always say it's a Mall of America of those information stores, because there are specialty databases beneath this umbrella of EBSCO. So let's say you are doing a topic of immigration. I saw that was in the hot topics over at FACS. And what I didn't talk about a lot is there are levels of information. I mean, you can have an opinion by an expert. You could have a popular newspaper, Psychology Today, some respected magazines and periodicals. But then there's the height of information on scholarly and peer-reviewed journals. Those go through a process that has extra vetting. A panel has to approve all the wording, all of the charts. And what does that mean to you, that I'm telling you there's a hierarchy? If you pick that top evidence, those scholarly journals, which I'm going to show you how to find here in the databases, you're going to get better grades because those pack more punch. They've been investigated, they're written by experts, reviewed by experts, and published in scholarly journals. So we're going to look a little bit here. These first two, if you're shopping under the EBSCO umbrella, are multidisciplinary. So you're going to find something about immigration there. You're going to find something about coronavirus. You're going to find something about probably the history of ice cream. I mean, there's just a whole array, or Poe's Raven. So those are kind of, I say, Walmarts and general stores of information, but they have credible information. That's why I say to start here. Now, if we were going to do the subject of information of immigration, I would pick newspaper source also. And again, remember at ProQuest, you have the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. So I would pick those three. Now, these next three are nursing. If you have any psychology papers, if you have health science subjects for your speeches, you want to stay in this area for high-end information. And then, of course, there's education here, sustainability. There will be great information in here if you're doing something on sustainable farming, wind energy, solar energy, business sources. Okay, again, you entrepreneurs out there, here's another section. Anything historical, government, military and government's a really nice resource too. And then again, the ebook collection. What you don't want to do is select all, because it just bogs you down in the site. So you can read over those yourself and decide with your topic, or I can guide you. But let's just say for right now, I chose these. I think maybe I would do military and government too. I usually like to keep it to 3 um, when I'm doing my searches. So here we go. And we'll continue. And now we actually will do this search. And I'll do the bad search as I did for the books, like when you get all the hits. So if I just put immigration in and do a search, we are going to get 288,000 hits. So the beginning of choosing parameters for the narrowing process is to do full text, because a lot of those out there are abstracts and you would have to go elsewhere to find the full articles. So when you're doing your research, and for efficiency's sake, I start with the full text. If you find something that's an abstract, I can find it for you. If it's not in any of our databases through Interlibrary Loan. But I would, start with things that are at your fingertips. So we're having a little slowdown right now. Okay. And what I did was I just made everything full text. So all those abstracts are thrown out for right now. The other thing we talked about, as much as I love history and like knowing about the potato famine, immigration, and early immigration, Massachusetts Bay Colony, we're going to look more recently. So you do that date slide. And you can really play with that a lot depending on your topic. Remember I said, if you were doing the opiate epidemic, I'd want you to pull up to those 3 years. Okay, so we're going to do immigration. We'll do like the 5. You could even spread that a little bit more. So we're down to 38,000. So the other thing that you can do is, remember I said there's those scholarly, those really proven high credible sources that you want to pack your speech, pull a couple facts out of there, and you can choose scholarly, and then you're down to 3,000. But still, that is an inefficient search. I just wanted to show you the parameters of how you do it. Where you really want to start with your speech is at the advanced search. So immigration. Now, what I was thinking of was immigration from, let's see, I want an immigration in the United States. Now remember, we started with, what was it, 288,000. Let's see, from Central America specifically. So to the United States from, and you could say not and or. Let's just do a full text. Let's do that 2015 to 2021. Since we're early in 2021. I'm going to get the news stories first because we have that one news, and let's see, news database. Let's see what we come up with. Okay, we're still coming up with 430, so that's a lot of articles to look through. So maybe I want to know more about, children. And I want to cut the news stories out because I want one of those scholarly articles. And you can see through that kind of narrowing, I'm down to 20. And you could take that down even further. You could, go to Guatemala. You could look for a cover story. If you saw an article that you were interested in, I haven't read this, but I know it's, it's coming from a peer-reviewed journal. You can open that up. You can look at it in full text, see what you want to pull from it. You can print it. You can Google Drive save it. You can email it to yourself. You can email it to your personal email, to your home email. or to your school email. And I always try to enumerate them. Like if I find 3 or 4 in a day, I'll do, immigration number 1, immigration 2 to keep more organized. You're going to need 5 sources for the second 2 speeches. So if you find 5 articles that support what you're talking about as your topic, right here it defaults to Brazilian. So make sure you choose MLA, or if you have a class that's using APA, you choose that. And then you just send it to yourself. If none of these appeal to you, you go back to the drawing board and you can add more. And you can go back into the search or refine your search results, limit more or widen more. So change up those databases to add an ebook, see what's out there on immigration. So keep that in mind. I've talked a lot more than I thought I would, especially with you guys being somewhat, some of you experienced. But remember, when you're in those databases, you're looking for the full text article because you have to cite the full article. Professor Foser's not going to accept if you just cite a summary of an article. Match your topic to your database. Go shopping. Find the best place. Choose a scholarly article or two to get them in there to buoy up your argument with the best foundation, or the information in your speech. Pay attention to the time. Keep thinking. If I have a subject that is, more timely, more current, I keep it within that 3 to 5 years. If you have another kind of topic, go ahead, spread out the years. So, and mix up the keywords. Always think of your synonyms. As a writer, think of those words you can mix up and to narrow and widen the search. So remember too, when you get that information, you keep that detail page or you keep that citation. Oh, I forgot to show you. You can instantly cite. Let's see if that was what we were picking up. I told you could email, but I also wanted to show you that you can instantly cite along with saving them. You can do your APA or your MLA citation here. You can copy and paste that. You do have to do your due diligence and check it. So that's why, remember, I showed you course-specific resources. You can go to the OWL at Purdue. You can check out our handouts, and definitely go to those academic coaches. They're amazing. They make your grades go up. So anyhow, we're just about finished here. Your audience wants to know where you got your information. If you can't tell that, it loses all its power. And your professor needs to check your citations to see that you're choosing credible sources. There are instant citing machines out there you can use. If you're going to EBSCOhost, it's going to cite it for you. Just do the double check. Same thing with EasyBib, Citation Machine, Google Cite, double check. Use the OWL at Purdue as your citation Bible, your MLA or APA Quick Guide, and those wonderful academic coaches. Visit us in the library, and your professor's the expert. Good luck with your speeches. Just get that powerful foundation of research underneath them, and you'll be amazing. So thanks for listening today. Come visit your library.